Hi there, it's Sam from pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is a window box. It's also a soap box, but it's a window box because I've got flowers, I've got windows, and you put flowers in a window box. And I thought it was kind of cute. And it's a fold flat box because if I slide off that part, you can open up both ends like so, and you can make plenty in advance and store them flat for storage. Cool, huh? I like it. So there is a little bit of framelit work going on today. I don't get the big shot out very much, so let me just close that back up again. I'm not going to put the ribbon back on just yet. I'll make sure that's in for the photos. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make it. You need a piece of cardstock that is 7 by 7.5 inches, which is 19.5 by 18 centimetres. And you need to score on the 7.5 inch side. Let me just double check. That's my longer side. 7.5 inch side first, and you score it at 2.5, 3.5, 6 and 7 inches, which is 6.5, 9, 15.5, 18 centimetres. Then you turn it around and you score it at 1/2 inch, 1.5, 5.5 and 6.5 inches, which is 1.5 centimetres for 14 and 16.5 centimetres. Finished dimensions of the box: 4 by 2.5 by 1 inch, which is 10 by 6.5 by 2.5 inches. So, okay, let's fold all of these four lines. It's a great size box, and it's a rather nice looking box. So even if you're not a soaper, you're not making handmade soaps, and you just want a pretty box to put stuff in, go for it. Okay, so I have got So Saffron paper here. I had garden green for this one, and it's the Flowerpot DSP that I've got going on, so I kind of wanted to do the same. So, okay, right. How to get this box to close. This is my back, so you can see I've got the back of the box there, and I have got the front folding away, which is, so it's going to fold around. This is going to be the top of the box that goes round. So we need to get rid of all of this part. Let me grab a pen or a pencil. So all of that bit and that bit and these little ones here. Those are the sections we're going to cut, and the same on both sides. So I'm going to do that now. And with these little squares here, these are these parts, so you just want to notch in very slightly so that you get a super smooth close. I'll just keep going all the way round. You can tell I'm concentrating, I'm not talking. This is what happens when you design a project and then it's about 3 weeks before you get around to filming it. But never fear, I get there in the end. I just don't exactly remember completely, totally how it went together. Okay, definitely still concentrating. I don't like to fast forward. I wouldn't know how to fast forward and edit through a video, to be honest. But at least you can see accurately how long it's going to take you to make the project. Okay, right. So you can see what's going to happen. It's all going to close round. I want to round these corners before I forget. And again, it just helps with the close. When you're closing up the box. And I'm going to put my designer series paper on, and then I'm going to cut the framelit out. Oh, I forgot to cut a bit off. Oops. There we go. Let's trim that bit. So I've got the same designer series paper, Flowerpot, but this time I've got a different pattern. So I've got very dark green there, and I've got the paler colour here, hence why I went with the So Saffron as the pale colour. I think it's actually technically crushed curry that is the yellow that's in it, or it might be Daffodil Delight, but I can see a pale one, so I'm going with pale. Because there are no rules, I don't believe anyway. Okay, right. So now I'm going to put my framelits in, and I've used the Project Life cards and labels framelit set. These are great for the window type things going on, and it's this one down here that I'm going to use. So I've got those. I've got my Big Shot it's actually on the floor. So I'm going to put it onto my magnetic plate. So I've got magnetic platform. Then I have got my clear block, couldn't think what it was called then, and I find it easier to put it on the wrong side so that I don't get the optical illusion of the flowers and me thinking, oh, it's the wrong way round, or it's too far over or anything like that. So that on, it's not going to fit through unless you fold these little parts, these tabs on either side in, otherwise they would just rip as you send it through the Big Shot, which I have got here. Big crack, that's normal. And that's my whole cut. It's marvellous. Let's get those off. And then I want to put a little tiny bit of window sheet in, tiny little bit, and I've written down, go for a piece that's about 2.5 by 1.5 inches. So about 4 by 5, 6 centimetres, something like that. And then a glue dot in each of the 4 corners. It means that you can position it over and that they're not going to be seen. There we go. Final bit, put some adhesive down here. There's my fuse. And that is the basics of your box made. So you could make them up and store them like that. I'm going to close it to show you that it closes. All closed up nicely. Finish it off with a little bit of twine. This is the Gold Baker's twine. So I know I want to end up with a bow there. So basically I'm going to cut off more than I need. Tie my bow. Try and tie my bow. There we go. Oh, it's a little bit rubbish and all over the place, to be honest. Oh, it hurts, doesn't it? I'm sorry, it hurts me just as much as it does you to not be able to tie a bow. That'll do. I'll make it look pretty for the photos. Or I'll just stand it the other way round. But we'll pretend it's gorgeous. Okay, final bit of stamping. No, not stamping even, punching. I've got my boho blossoms, which I've actually just managed to put away. So I'm going to have, I think I'll just go for one set of those rather than the 2 lots that I did before, which, as you can see, I've put candy dots in the centre that match all of the flowers in the background. So I'm going to do a slight variation, and I'm going to put white centres into my little yellow flowers. So white candy dots this time. With this gorgeous paper you could go with all sorts really, couldn't you? And just cluster them up really. And there you go, one fold flat window box. I hope you like it. Thank you very much for joining me and hope to speak to you soon. Bye.